Hi, my name is Kristen Hill, and I'm a residential realtor with Peregrine Property Group. And I wanted to take a few minutes today to speak directly to buyers who are currently looking in our very competitive real estate market here in Metro Denver. I'm sure it's no surprise and no news to anybody that we have very little inventory for sale on the residential real estate market right now. And to be a buyer in this market takes persistence and it takes a lot of tolerance. And what I'm finding in my experience is that buyers find success and they find a home that they are more than thrilled with, but it helps to be set up for success as much as possible in the beginning. So I just want to share a few tips that buyers can be thinking of when they start their house hunting, or if you're already in the middle of house hunting, some things to consider before you start writing an offer to help you be the most competitive buyer you can be. And the first tip is to really take into consideration what the seller's priorities are. More often than not, a seller's priorities are focused around price. They want to obviously net the most amount of money that they possibly can from the sale of their house. So oftentimes they get very excited and are wanting to accept the offer that's written for the highest price. But there are some other aspects to take into consideration, and probably the second largest one beside price is a seller's timeline. Usually a seller is not moving out of the Metro Denver area. There are very few people moving out and a lot of people moving in. And so the seller typically appreciates more time to find a replacement property. So coming in with an offer that has a longer under contract period and opens the door for a possibility of a rent back after closing, I'm finding sellers find that very appealing. And another aspect, the second aspect, buyers can consider to make their offers even more competitive, or hopefully be the most competitive, is a removal or a limitation of the two largest contingencies in the contract, which are appraisal and inspection. I'm seeing buyers who are very willing to remove an inspection altogether or make a statement to the effect that they are willing to purchase the property as is, even though they're still going to do an inspection. The removal of the appraisal gets a little difficult because if you're financing the property, it's going to be impossible to remove the appraisal altogether. Your lender is going to require an appraisal in order for them to secure the loan on the house. But there are some tweaks that can be made to the appraisal statements, making a commitment to bring cash to the table should there be a discrepancy in purchase price and appraisal amount, but as a buyer you have to have that cash available. Speaking about the lender, the third aspect to take into consideration is the relationship that you have with the lender and the location of the lender. Now more than ever, it is so important for buyers to be working with lenders that are local and know our market. They just move the file at the appropriate time, and the sellers and the seller's realtor on the other side gain a lot of confidence from a lender who is in the state of Colorado and is knowledgeable about our current market. So that can be a great advantage to buyers. Another aspect, the fourth aspect to consider as a buyer, is utilizing an escalation clause. And this kind of hits back onto the idea of highest price winning the home. If you encounter a situation where you're not confident that you're submitting an offer at the highest price, you can insert an escalation clause. And basically what that does is limits the amount that you will pay for the house while at the same time allowing you to be more competitive with an offer that might be slightly higher than the offer that you've written. And your real estate agent can explain that in more detail if you have questions about that. And my fifth and final point about being the most competitive you can be as a buyer is really working with your realtor and encouraging them to create a positive relationship with the seller's agent. I'm finding a ton of success when everybody can get on the same page from the moment the offer is submitted. There's clear communication that we are going to be easy to work with. We all want to get to the finish line together. So I hope you found my tips helpful, and I wish you all the luck in your house hunting experience. Thanks.